Have you ever wondered why you're stuck in a hole and you can't figure out how to move forward? Have you ever wondered why it seems like you keep going backwards in your life and in the results that you have for your life and the things that you want, and you can't figure out how to make them happen? So today I'm going to share with you some information, and I have 3 points that I'm going to make today. So this is the third video in a series of 10 or 11 where we're going to be talking about how to take control of your circumstances. So let's get this party started. Y'all got y'all pen and paper? I mean, I can't wait. So if you're joining me on a different platform, join me on YouTube, because I have some images that I want to show. So if y'all are joining me from Instagram, come on over to YouTube so y'all can see the images, or join me later. So let's get this party started. Number one, the law of attraction is real whether or not you know it's real. The law of attraction works whether or not you know it works. The law of attraction is real. That's point number one. Point number two, this was a stat that I got maybe like 10 years ago. 87% of people in the world hate their jobs. That number has not changed. I mean, it may go from 87 to 85, and people are like, oh my God, people are more satisfied with their jobs. Well, that's just the two people that finally, did something different in their life, right? It's 2%. And that's not the come up, but there's a reason for that. And then number three, tame the negative voice in your head. Do you know that you have a tyrant that's running around in your head telling you negative things? So let's get this party started. Number one, the law of attraction is real and it works whether or not you know it works. Now, the law of attraction was popularized by the movie The Secret, and I don't even know if I want to dig into that. Maybe I'll do another video on that, because I was going to go down a whole different rabbit hole. But it was popularized by the movie The Secret, and Wayne Dyer actually said, they asked him to be in the movie, but he said no, because they only focused on money. And if you think that if I close my eyes and I'm going to manifest checks in the mail, checks in the mail, checks in the mail, checks in the mail, or my dream man, my dream woman, my dream, like whatever, like you were asking for, there are like 20 things before that you need to do to maybe get into alignment with the things that you want. And so Wayne Dyer was like, no, I don't want to be in it. Abraham Hicks was like, nah, I ain't trying to be in that movie. But it was popular and it worked. And I think it opened up the general population's eyes to the law of attraction. But people got stuck and say that it didn't work because they weren't willing to study it a little bit further past that. So the law of attraction is actually stronger than the law of gravity. It don't matter. My nephew be walking on the sides of couches. It doesn't matter if he doesn't understand at 2 years old that the law of gravity is real. He walk off that table, off that couch, he gonna find out, and he'll just fall, but he won't know it's because of the law of gravity. And so when it comes to the law of attraction, a lot of people focus on what they don't want. When I ask women, what do you want? When they talk about their career, they can chart it out for the next 10, 15, 20 years. But when I say, what do you want in your personal life? I get crickets, absolute silence. Like they haven't even thought about what they want in their personal life. I did it, y'all. So your professional life can be good and your personal life can suck. And it's because you never focused on that. And what I used to do, we out here in these series, apparently. I'm just out in these streets. I used to go to psychics all the time, because I can tell you with great detail all the boxes that I need to check in my career. And I was checking all of them. I was checking if they check one box, if my white male counterparts check one box, I'm checking 20. I'm going to make sure they're going to give me what I deserve, right? And so, but for my personal life, I would go to psychics. Can you read my palm, though? Will I ever be happy? Will I ever get a man and have some kids? Let me see. If I took the same focus, right? It's the same energy. Now, it worked for my career, but I did not put any intention into my personal life. So in my career, I was successful, but my personal life sucked. Right? Are you doing that? And I'm not saying whether or not you're going to psychics. Maybe you are. But it's like, we're not thinking about our personal life at all. We're like leaving that to chance. And we're leaving that to the higher power. Lord, order my steps. God is like, hey man, like you got to get clarity on where you're going first. I can order your steps, but I don't have to like, give you the whole thing. I mean, my God. So if you've been having undesirable results, even in your career with regards to asking for money, you're going to get what you expect. You're going to get what you're afraid of. Earl Nightingale says, man becomes what he think about most of the time. You become what you think about most of the time. So before you even go into the talk about your promotion and you say, they're not going to give it to me, great, they ain't going to give it to me. And if you go into an interview, like these women had me cracking up, something wrong with y'all, thinking that you're an imposter and you don't belong, great, they agree with you. How are you got your seat at the table and now you become an imposter after you got your seat at the table? Like, and they agree with you and then they harass you and then you cry foul and say, I'm in a toxic workplace. Well, it's because you worked and you fought and you bled and you did all these things and you checked all these boxes and you proved people wrong, but you never claimed ownership of how great you are. You never claimed ownership of your results. And so if you can understand that you created it, then you can understand that you're also the cure. So I wrote down in 2009, I worked on Capitol Hill and, I was on a subcommittee and they go to work at 9 and get off at 5. Well, I was accustomed to working from 6:30 to 10 o'clock at night. I was workaholic. I was proving people wrong. I had to get all these degrees. I had to get these certifications. Like I had to get all these things. And so here I am at the midpoint of my career and I'm going to work from 9 to 5. And I was like, well, can I come in early? Because I'm up at 5:30. I was like, what am I do? Can I come in and work at 7? And I remember my manager at the time was like, Christy, we start at 9. So, and then I got off at 5 o'clock. Well, I don't really know what to do with myself because I was used to working till 10 o'clock at night. Y'all think about the lunacy of me blowing through. And I want to ask you, are you doing the same thing? I'm blowing through my late 20s and my early 30s working to prove people wrong. I'm not happy. I don't have a personal life. Like nothing was going on. And all I could see, my job that should have been like this much of my life had become like the whole microcosm or the whole like expansive universe of what I thought was possible for me, which is what point number 2 is. But like, have you put everything and every part of your beingness into your job and wondering why you feel empty, right? Have you put every ounce of everything that you have into your job and wonder why you feel limited and then you hate your job and you hate your life? And so mess around with Oprah. I started watching Oprah because I ain't had nothing else to do. I might as well watch TV. I got time. And so she had on Wayne Dyer and Eckhart Tolle and Louise Hay and I mean, my God, like Gary Zukav, Mark Nepo, like all these amazing metaphysical teachers. And they started talking about the law of attraction. And I was like, oh my God, I like that. And so I wrote down a vision for how I wanted my life to go. This is in 2009. I wrote it down. And when I retire, I want my job to be outside. I want to be a greater blessing to people. I want to be a speaker. I want to live where I want to live, do what I want to do with who I want to do it with, at what time I want to do it. Hello. And I'll be like, I want these things. And I wrote it out. Write the vision, make it plain. I wrote the vision. And it's in the book, and I ain't got my glasses on, so I can't read it. So we're in week 2 in the details of 90 Days to Burnout Recovery. I pulled this thing out. I can't see it. Let me see. Do y'all want me to read it, or can I move on? Oh, here we go. It's good. Let's see. I'll put my glasses on. I mean, they are nice glasses. When I retire, I want my office to be outside. I want to be of greater service to people in need. I want to have less stress. I want to teach people how to manage their stress. Like I had to manage my own stress before I could teach it. I want to be closer with my family. I want to create deeper relationships. I want to be a blessing to others, and I want to be a beacon of shining light in a dark world. Now, I was in a dark world at the time, but I wanted these things for my life. Now, here's the thing. I wrote it down. I could see her. She wasn't as thick as a Snicker, stressed out, wearing a 12 tight or a 14 tight, refusing to buy new clothes because my buttons were tight because I was eating donuts and Chick-fil-A and fried wings and fries and everything. Everything. Honey buns, M&Ms, all the stuff that stress eaters do. And when I was at my job, because once I left Capitol Hill, I went back to the Coast Guard. Now I'm in hell again. All 3 meals at my desk. Are you doing this? This is why I'm sharing this. I know I'm not by myself. I ate all 3 meals at my desk and my snacks, 6:30 to 10, 11 o'clock at night. And so my life really sucked when somebody called a senator on me. On Friday night, I was going to drive to Houston, and it's like an hour and a half away, to hang out with my friends for a happy hour. And somebody called a senator on me at 6 o'clock. Y'all was at work 11 o'clock at night on Friday. My life sucks. And I was pissed. And so I leaned back in my chair and I said, when I retire, I want my office to be outside so I could see her and I would speak it, and I wrote it down. The 3 most powerful things that you can do to manifest the law of attraction. So if y'all don't understand what I just gave y'all, I want to repeat it. Write the vision, make it plain. Don't be asking for more money. How much? Don't ask for a better life. Well, what does a better life mean to you? And when I went to go get my bougie glasses that I just put on, the dude was like, well, those are the most expensive pair in that collection. I said, expensive to who? Expensive. Hey, money's all relative, right? So these are the glasses I want, sir. Ring them up. And I wrote it out. So in 2012 or 2011, when the hellacious boss came that I talked about yesterday, I want to stop a hole in, that was my second time working for him. And I already knew what he was going to do. He was going to destroy the culture of our office. And when I left, right, and I talked about it yesterday extensively, 6 months after I left, I was sitting on the bench talking to one of my mentees, and they talked about how their life sucked. Great. And I laughed that I wasn't in that anymore. And then I had the wind blow through my hair while I was sitting on the bench eating coffee or drinking coffee and eating an almond croissant. And I said, you know what? My God, I used to say when I retire, I want to sit on a bench outside with the wind blowing through my hair, drinking coffee and eat a croissant. And that happened. And like everything started to come together in my mind. And I'm like, okay, I got what I asked for. Now, how can I be mad at how I got it? Did y'all pick that up? Are y'all still with me? Put, I'm with you. If y'all with me, put, I'm still with you. If I got what I visualized, because the law of attraction, you're not going to figure out the how. The how is none of your business. I got exactly what I wanted. My office was outside. I had the wind blowing through my hair, and I was like, I was less stressed because I left hell, right? So I said, my God, I got what I wanted. And they used to say you can't figure out the how. You don't know, all hell gonna break loose to give you what you asked for. I got what I asked for. Now, what didn't happen, I didn't get my check. And so sometimes we're so, gripped into what we thought our life should be, even if we hold it on to hell. Ooh, that was good. I'm preaching better than y'all like clapping. TDJ said, why are known hells preferable to strange heavens? I wasn't trying to leave my check. It was delicious. Do you hear me? That government check hits every 1st and 15th, baby. I was making 6 figures. And I thought, making $120,000 a year was to come up until I met people who made $300,000 a month. It's all relative. I was meeting people who made $1.4 million a month. I was like, wait. And they were black. I was like, wait. I thought I was doing something. Doing something compared to who? That's all I asked. Anyway. So are you intentionally with your thoughts, words, and actions creating your reality, or are you getting what you don't want by default? Because it's working whether or not you know it works. And in that moment, I said, well, if I got what I wanted, I have to forgive the scenario of how it happened, which came with my boss harassing me and running me out of my job. So I forgave him in that moment. But I promise y'all, if I had saw this mother in the alley within 6 months, okay, it would have been a misunderstanding. I promise you. It took time. To let it burn, like Usher say, because had I seen him, it took another 6 months. Now that I realize it, which forgiveness is a little late in the series, now I have to forgive everybody because they played a part in the story to give me what I asked for. So are you holding on to the past pain and all the things that people have done to you, and you're not extracting the goodness out of it? So let me show these slides right quick. I got the slide I want to share with y'all. All right, we're talking about the money later. So if you think about a vase, if somebody shatters a vase in your house, is it easier to glue together the pieces of the broken vase than it is to get on the potter's wheel and create a new vase? Both of them are going to be imperfect, right? And so a lot of us are walking around with so much brokenness in our life, and all of these things of shoulda, woulda, coulda, and all these scenarios that could have went different. Maybe he wouldn't have left us if I said this, or if I did this. Maybe my mama would have treated me right if I would have did this, or my father would have da-da-da-da-da. So we're trying to piece together painstakingly, and if you're over 40 so without glasses, pieces of a vase that will never be put together perfectly, because once you get all the big pieces, now you got to find all the small crumbs. So that's what we're doing to our life. We're turning it around from our past, and we're trying to put all the stuff together. So we're giving no credence to our future. So either you focused on your past or you focused on your future, but I can't see both of them at the same time. Oh, did y'all pick up that? Put it in your pocket, boop, and move on in your life. I can't see both of them at the same time. So if you're not where you want to be right now, I ask you to become aware of where you're focusing your time and energy. Are you focusing your time in your past and your energy and your vision so you can't even see what's going on in here? I can't even see my hand, even in my peripheral. This is my future, and all I'm doing is talking about what they did to me, what my mom and them did to me, what my last relationship did to me. So I can't open myself up to receive anything, because all I'm doing is focused on my shoulda, woulda, coulda. Now, if you look at the vase is I create my reality today. I'm going to create my future based on what I do today. What do I want my life to look like? If we got to go in the movie with ghosts like Patrick Swayze, where we're sitting there and Demi Moore and we creating a new vase, if you have a real pile of vase, and this is a question that people ask on social media, if you could live your life all over again, what would you do different? If you can go back to your 21-year-old self again, what would you do different? And people have all these hopes and dreams that they would do. Man, you 40, do something. You 35, you ain't dead. What is wrong with you? It's okay to pivot, but you have to give credence to, you're running from your job trying to create something on broken pieces, and you're not focused on what's really going to make you happy. So what does your dream life look like? What does, that was my dream life. This is now my life, and it's better, and it's greater, and it's amazing. And I get to serve people. And I wrote this in 2009 where I wanted to teach people how to manage stress. Here we are today. So what is your dream life? Now let's go to point number 2. Say point number 2 if you're still with me. All right, I'm going to move this. Point number 2, according to Gallup, 87% of people in the world hate their jobs. If it's between 80 and 87, it's still the majority of people in the world hate their jobs. And it's been like this for a long time. And this is a challenge which I roll right into this conversation. We think that if I get the dream job, then I'll be happy. If I get this degree, then I'll be happy. If I work for this supervisor, then I'll be happy. And so you've created your happiness. You've put your happiness in a jar. Right? It's like this big. And if you don't have the right job, and if you don't have the right supervisor, and if you don't have whatever you think, then you're not happy. Well, if I make this amount of money, then I'll be happy. But you haven't set a vision for who you want to be first. So what I assist my clients with doing is, let's talk about how you want to feel today. Because you 35, 37, 38, 39, 40 something, 50 something. Using old data of what you thought your life was going to be like when you were 25. Because at 25, we fresh out of college, we have all these dreams and hopes and all these boxes that we're going to check to prove our family wrong, right? And so here you are at 38, mom of 2-3 kids, married, you're working, you're crazy, you ain't combing your hair, like all these things. You're going to put a wig on. I shouldn't have said that, but I'm keeping going, right? Like I don't have time to do nothing. So, and now you become a hostage to it all. You become a hostage to a life that you created, and you're not willing, and you don't have time to be able to reshuffle the cards. And now you're dragging through, and the easiest thing to blame is your job. And that's not true. So what we assist our clients with doing is, what do you want your life to look like? I'm telling y'all right now, this is the secret code. What do you want your life to look like? Like without limits. What's going to make you happy? What's going to give you peace? Not necessarily what's going to make your mama happy about the decisions that you make for your life. Not what's going to make your spouse happy or your kids happy based on the decisions that you want to make for your life. What's going to make you happy? What's the lifestyle that you want to live? Do you want to fly Spirit with the women in Atlanta who wearing the bonnets and the house shoes and the onesies and a pillow? That was petty. I ain't never seen these chicks on Delta. I was like, why are these women coming from with these house shoes on? What is going on? My God. Anyway, so it's like, are you flying business class with the bed and the fresh roasted turkey, right? And the 5-course meal? Or are you sitting at, from cheaptickets.com in the last seat by the bathroom, sitting up for 24 hours, flying to Dubai? Which one is it? Like, because it's, can you even dream about flying? I saw this pod the other day on this airline. That ticket was like $30,000. I said, well, if I fly for 20 hours, I'm going to need a $30,000 seat. I'm going to need the $15,000, $10,000 seat. I can't, way my back work at 40 something. I can't just sit up with a 6-inch decline, or recline in the back. I can't do it. I can't be on no 15, 20 hour flight with pretzels. That ain't gonna work for me. Right? But that's what I want. What do you want? How do you want to travel? So when you write down, I want to travel, how? Are we flying private? Are we flying business class? Are we flying Spirit? Are we flying Delta One? Are we flying Delta? Like, there's a difference. So now that you figure out, this is how I want to live, this is where I want to live. I live on the beach because I like the ocean and the water. Every time I'm looking this way, I'm actually looking at the water. So I'm out on a jet ski right now. You'd be like, something floating in the ocean. What's over there? I'm getting distracted. Maybe it is kicking in. But do you want to live in the mountains? Do you want to live on the beach? Do you want a house beside your siblings? Do you want to build a compound? How do you want to live? How do you want your kids to feel about you? How do you, y'all don't have long before these crumb snatchers grow up and leave the house, and they've been raised by social media because you at home, because you at work working all the time. Wondering, where did I go wrong? If COVID wasn't a flash, but you got locked in the house with them crumb snatchers to show you what you put into them, You ain't got that long to put it in them. Are you shaping their reality based on what your mom and them told you, or are you going to create something new? That's a decision. My niece told me she couldn't afford something one day. She was 5. I said, don't you ever say you can't afford something, ever. She was like, what in the world? I was serious too. I said, yo, you rich. She was like, what, for real? I said, yo, Auntie Christy rich, so you rich. We go in the store. She was like, can you buy this? No, put it back. Nope, put it back. But I don't want her to grow up with limited words of what she can't have. Let's have a conversation about this thing. So, okay, back to this job thing. Once you get a sense for how you want to live now and how you want to feel, now that you have the menu of what you want, when you start looking for jobs and they start talking to you, you'll be like, that don't match what I want. This is not a good fit for me. The challenge is y'all go into the job hoping that the job is going to give you what you haven't clearly defined. You go into the job hoping that the job is going to give you what you have clearly defined, but the job don't fit that because you're hoping that it's going to give you something that you haven't really clearly defined how you want to feel. Because you think that the job is the dream, where the dream is the dream. The job is just going to come and give you, it should be in alignment with what you dream of. Does that make sense to y'all? Right? Did I go too fast? Say, repeat if you need me to repeat it. Create the dream life in your mind first, and then you create an environment to be able to fit what you want. So when people are like, Christy, well, you can get a bigger bang for your buck and such and such, I said, I want to live where I want to live. I'm just going to go make more money. I'm going to become so valuable in the market. I live where I want to live. I'm not looking for a bang for my buck. I'm not. So have you, that's like broke behavior. I can never be rich doing broke-ish. And that's not, there's a difference between being smart with your money and trying to acquiesce, my lifestyle to fit into, a little glass when the ocean is waiting for me. I'm not taking a thimble to the ocean, telling God to bless the thimble when God is like, the whole ocean is available for you if you're willing to serve. All right, great. I don't even know what time it is, y'all. We got one more point. Okay, last point. So point number 1, law of attraction is real whether or not you know it's real. Point number 2 is don't create the dream job, create the dream life. And point number 3 is tame the negative voice in your head. And again, we are here going through 90 days to burnout recovery. I'll have the pre-order link for y'all tomorrow. And so I'm creating a course that I'm teaching in my live or teaching in my mentorship community. It's 10 weeks. We're going through it. It's a curriculum. I want to assist y'all with recovering from burnout so you can get on the path to doubling your salary this year without doubling your stress. And so what I don't want for you or the market to do is say, oh, well, the community is $500 a month. Christy's cheap. No, Christy is expensive. I want to be clear, right? Like the $500 price point, I created this community because I want to leverage my time. I'm actually focusing a lot more energy this year into the community because I want to leverage my time, because I want to go out and speak and I want to write and I want to do other things. And so this is the best way for me to serve and to be able to give. We're doubling salaries in the community because the next level up is $30,000. So either it's $500 a month or it's $30,000. I'm not that cheap. I'm not trying to be economical. I'm not trying to be affordable. I'm an expert. I'm not an entertainer. Okay. Somebody inboxed me the other day, was like, can you help me negotiate? And I sent her an invoice and she didn't ghost. And that's something that I don't do. I don't do one-offs. But I was like, fine, I do it. God showed me, stay in your lane. Now I can do it. It's going to cost you, but I prefer on the salary negotiation tip is to teach y'all the 10 things that you need to do before you get to the table. That's what we do in the community. That's what we're doing at $30,000. There are 10 things that you need to do before you even get to the negotiation table. Anyway, back on this point. Tame the negative voice in your head. There's a study that says for every one negative comment, you need 14 positive comments to negate it. For every one negative thing somebody says to you, you need somebody else to say 14 positive things to neutralize the one thing. For every one negative thing you say to yourself, you need 14 positive affirmations to be able to neutralize what you just said to yourself. So, we're 4, 5, 6 hours into the day. How many negative things have you said to yourself already? Are you even aware of the conversation that you have going on in your head? And you can really tell what the conversation is based on what people say and what you identify with. In 2020, McKinsey and Women in the Workplace said that women are going to lose the most during the pandemic. And some women got mad and they was like, oh my God, I'm losing because McKinsey said. I was like, that's a lie. It ain't what people call you, it's what you answer to. How you know I'm going to lose? Do you know me? Have you been in my coaching sessions with my business coaches that have set my business up for success? We did very, 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 very well in 2020. So if somebody say, hey, stupid, and you turn around, hello, they only affirming what you say to yourself. So put it in the chat. Are they affirming or are they lying? Which one they doing? If somebody says something negative to you and you agree, you're just agreeing with the conversation that's already going on in your head. You can't, loser. When people tell me to be more relatable, I be like, relatable to who? When people say I'm arrogant and intimidating, I be like, compared to who? You're shining too bright. Compared to who? So it's, but once, if you don't know who you are, and if you haven't really strengthened your sense of self, when people say something to you, you turn down your light to fit into the room as opposed to just leaving the room. You turn down your volume to make other people comfortable with you as opposed to just changing the people that you talk to. So, all right, we got my last image here. I have a tape player. Now, I don't know. I mean, even if y'all 35, y'all got to know what a tape player is. I don't know when tapes went out. But I got the boombox on the image on the YouTube screen. You are the tape player. You're not the tape. So there is a low-level conversation at about volume 5 that's going on in the background of your life. And you know what it says to you when you get ready to step out on faith or you get ready to do something risky. The thing goes from volume 5 to 50, and it gets louder to toss you out of it. You ain't ish. You ain't gonna be ish. You can't do it. You're gonna fail. It can't work. Remember last time you did something. Remember this. Remember that. Right? Like, and then you talk yourself out of it, and then the volume goes back down, and then waits again till you get ready to step out and do something uncomfortable. So if you want to do something, like, I talk to women who be like, well, Christy, this is crazy to me. I don't think I'm qualified to be your client. I was like, if you gonna talk yourself out of somebody that you got to pay, I can only imagine what you're doing at work. You ain't getting paid that much. You like, because you got to pay me to work with me. Does that make sense? Like, if you're disqualifying yourself from somebody that you got to pay, I know you disqualifying yourself in the job for upper mobility. What are you saying to yourself? What is the tape saying? I'm not ready. It's like, you don't even know my price yet. I just told y'all. That's before I public. That's the first time I publicly revealed my price, right? Like, you didn't even know how much. But you didn't say, I don't have it. You said, I'm not qualified. What? I'm like, man, if you can listen to me talk for 5 hours, you good. Because I turn off most of them. Most people can't listen to me talk. I'm not for everybody. And what I can't do is adjust my volume to fit into a box where I don't belong. If you like somebody playing the violin, freaking throwing flowers and all this other kind of stuff, then you go talk to some other people. But if you like to be kicked in the head and have a conscious interrupt and wonder whether or not you're saying these things to yourself, then that's what I'm about. So what is your tape plan saying to you? Okay, somebody say we remember tapes. And here's the thing. If you're the tape player, not the tape, y'all remember, either you eject the tape and insert another one, or you record over the tape. I let my tape rock till my tape pop, right? Like with Biggie, you can record. You record over the tape. You can record over tape 1,000 times. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be ye transformed by recording over the tape. So you have to start telling yourself how your life is going to go. You need to start telling yourself what your future is going to hold for you. You need to start affirming to yourself how you're going to be, regardless of what's going on in the world. What you can't tell Christy Rutherford ever is that she's going to lose. Ever. And even if things ain't going right, ain't no way I'm going to lose. It's impossible. So what's possible for you? I have affirmations. If I'd have thought this out longer, they're hanging is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 13 right in front of me on this door. 1 on TV, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. 23 within what I can see right now. And that's just in front of me. Now, if I turn right here, I got the calendar right here. I have the 6 magazines, Forbes, and Black Enterprise that I've been featured in, Harvard Business School. And I got my vision board right here. I got my goal thing right here. I got my 5-year vision right here. I got my quarterly planner right here. Like that's just right here. Y'all don't even take me downstairs. 1 right here, 1 on the door. Right when I walk out of the office, is 3 on the wall. That's just 1 room. We ain't even in the bathroom, downstairs in the bedroom, in the mirror. I got to keep the stuff in front of me all the time, because the environment that you create for yourself shapes your belief. So here's the thing. Y'all see my books right here, but the books are closed, and that's somebody else's thoughts. I got my thoughts and how I want my life to go right here, right there, downstairs, and then downstairs, everywhere. So it's time for you to take ownership of your circumstances, to take control of your fate, become the master of your fate and the captain of your soul. And how do you do that? 1, understand that the law of attraction is working whether or not you know it works. Either you're actively working it or you're being a victim of the things that you don't even know what you're saying to yourself. Number 2, don't hate your job. Just become clear on you've created your whole lifestyle and your belief of what's possible for you based on what your job can provide for you and not necessarily what God can provide for you. You always going to lose. And apparently 85% of people around the world hate their jobs. Like that's around the world, worldwide. That's been steady forever. So it's not that jobs don't work, whether it's remote or whether you're in the house, or whether you're remote or whether you're flexible or whether you're in the office. You haven't defined clearly what you want. And then the last thing is take control of your thoughts. Don't allow your thoughts to run away, and don't allow outside circumstances to dictate how your life is going to go, because it's never going to go anywhere. And what Jim Rohn said was, if you allow other people to dictate their plans for your life, guess what they have planned for you? Not much. So take ownership of your circumstances, take ownership of your life, become the master of your fate and the captain of your soul, and your life will never be the same for the best. So before we get out of here, y'all can take my Burnout Recovery, what did I call that thing? Burnout score test. We talked about that yesterday, so we don't really talk about burnout today because I'm talking about how to dig yourself out. But you can check the scale of where you are in the stages of burnout with myburnoutscore.com, or you can come over and join us in the private community at prpmentor.com. And we are done and we are out. See y'all tomorrow. I'll be back on tomorrow at noon Eastern to talk about point number 4, which is, my goodness, I got to hang up. Oh, we're going to talk about faith without works is dead. All right, y'all. Deuces.